One of the important things to pay attention to as a wife on the journey to meeting a husband is understanding that as you meet men who are potential future husbands, it is important that you do not sound like you do not sound like you want to earn marriage like a degree more than you care about the person that you are going to get married to. For instance, there are a lot of yearly declarations about marriage. This year is your year, and things like that. And some people have grown cold, some people have grown tired, some people are still firing on. Different people have different ways that they are treating the disappointments or the way they receive the word each year. But what is important is before all of those words become flesh in your life, you want to ask yourself, is it the Lord speaking to you? Because if indeed the Lord is speaking, say through your prophet or through your pastor, it would also put a confirmation in your heart. You would see the signs, and that's why you should follow God personally and have a relationship so that it doesn't look like you are just depending on what is being said externally. And if it looks like it is not manifesting within, then it looks like you're having a disappointment crisis and can go on and on. So I'm not really here to talk about that, but I really need to address that. And I believe that this is really why God would have me do what it is that I'm doing in this season about helping you, equipping you with the resources, and very importantly, helping you to understand the times and the kind of season we are now in as it regards meeting and marrying your husband. Just like Dr. Cindy Trim says, the world that we're born into does not doesn't exist anymore. This means if there was this way that your auntie got married, your mommy got married, all that, it is not necessarily, we're not in that world again. So things are now different, very different. And it baffles me that some people still currently look at online dating as something cringy, but I have other videos on that. But I'm just stepping that in because if we have and if we do a lot of things virtually, community, virtual based, online based, why do you think that you cannot meet your husband in in an intentional community for people who are looking to seriously get married? So I believe that this is a bias that you may still be carrying from an older generation. Perhaps if you think deeply, it is somebody in the older generation who did not have the online space in their time, putting the bias. I know a couple of people have spoken about it passionately. I know a few people, and I know that I know one doesn't speak about it like that again because, yeah, the reality is dawning that, hey, we're in the virtual world. People are meeting virtually every day. People are making bonds, building relationship, building real friendship through the virtual world. So if you have that bias, maybe also because you are in your 40s, it could be you're in a generation where you felt you saw people get married with people that they met physically. So I am just helping you. This is not what I intended, but I follow God's spirit when I start my videos because video is for you. And it may be that even though this video was purposed to address the key points which I'll get to, this is something also lurking in your mind that you should pay attention to. And that is why you have me to show you. I have a course, How to Date on a Dating Site Without Losing Your Conviction. I believe that's how it started. Yeah, how to date on dating sites. So there's a way to use dating sites. Do not mind the people who say, oh, I went, because I've seen a few female leaders who will say, oh, I went on this site, and this is how this man duped me. Since then, I said I'm not doing dating sites again. If you sit down with these people, number one, you know that they went in there with a strong bias. They went in there because they told them just get in there. Number two, they were not like they were not even really interested in going through the process, and then they were not willing and humble to hear the right way to go through the process. Another thing that is plaguing, Lord knows why I'm sharing all this in this video, but it is for you and I hope you receive it. Another thing that is plaguing successful single women in this generation is pride. Yes, pride. A lot of successful single women feel like, because I am valuable and valued in my career and all that, I have a thriving brand, and indeed you do. I commend you for it. So I know how to do this whole dating thing. I've got it covered. It's just not how it works in this season. There was a time you did not really care. Like, you did not need to go to school to do. Well, a lot of things have changed. There was a time there was no school of parenting. Now you have so many many things about intentionality about parents. Think about different things in your life. There was a time these things did not exist. Coaching on how to do this, how to speak, how counseling was not even an industry. You just go to your big auntie and your in-laws and everybody will just settle the marriage matter. Tell somebody that you're sitting to pay somebody counseling money. They're like, you don't know what to do with money. So what I'm trying to say is things have changed. And the earlier you wake up to this reality, the better as a successful single woman. Not from a place of desperation, but just from a place of clarity. And I'll say, okay, I may not know it all. Yes, you may be 40 plus, you may be 50, you may be entering your 40s. It is true that in age you are growing, but notice that the seasons and the times are constantly changing. And because your friends who married, met in school and all that at 22, doesn't mean that that is going to be your story. So check out, I think I have a video on something dating. If you check out the Meet Your Husband playlist, you're going to get good insights on dating sites and all that. But I have a course for that because, honestly speaking, where more is the best place to meet like-minded people than a community created for people who want to go on the same destination of marriage? It's no longer a thing to be ashamed of. I don't even know the reason why this dating side thing is a bit chaotic when it's been spoken about is because the dating sites that we see out there, a lot of it, they are messy, and a lot of it, the motives are really, really, really sinful. But a lot of dating sites have come up with the right motive, because the dating site in itself is not a bad initiative. The motive is what is making it bad. You know, knife, the kitchen knife, the motive for building the kitchen knife that you use to dice your carrots, peel your onions, and the things you do in the kitchen. The purpose and the motive was for doing kitchen chores. But do you realize that now the that same kitchen knife in different parts of the world is also being used to stab people? Do you realize that? Same knife, different motive. So this is how you must think about it when it comes to dating sites in the 21st century and in this year. If you step into, I believe that my main points, I'm actually going to do it in a different video. It's interesting, so interesting. But I believe you drew this out of me because this was information that you needed. And I'm glad I'm able to deliver it. The mindset around dating sites You need to reorientate yourself and do it from a place of rest. People who work with me know that there's no, because ultimately our destination is to be with our Lord Jesus Christ and flourish in his presence forever and ever. So there's no hurrying to a place where you are going to have chaos in your life. Nobody is going to, not in this space. Everywhere we're taking you through on the journey to meeting your husband is for destiny fulfillment. And so you must understand that there are certain things you don't know. If you want to do trial and error, there are different ways you can go, but you can go through trial and error. But please don't go around pushing and pulling bad reviews because you don't know how to do it. Or you go through working with me and say, hey, how do we do this? Because there's a method to doing it. And if you don't know how to use the knife, you are going to cut your hand. And when you cut your hand and bleed, you say the knife is bad. But the knife is not bad. The knife has its purpose. But if you are not taught how to use a knife, you are going to cut your hand. So this year, be committed to learning. Humble yourself. The people are so proud. They're so proud. And they are doing it as, oh, God has not asked me to do this. It is true that there are some people that God has put on a strict and a specific lane on how they need to move on the journey to meeting their husband, but it's not everybody. How do I know that? Because God gave me this calling. And so God has called me and people like me because there are thousands, even millions out there that need this help. So the rest of the people that God did not give the specific this and that, he has given me to you to help you navigate on the journey to meeting your husband, because God is not withholding your husband. He's not withholding. History shows that this whole marriage thing and all that has never really been a thing where, oh my God, like people are having headache, they're having to sweat, they're having to hold a conference. No, no. It is only happening in this day and age. And we'll keep talking about why that is in the future video. I'm SAGENEL. I help you on the journey to meeting your husband without losing your peace, conviction, values, or your purpose. I also help men on the journey to meeting their wife. The purpose of working with me is to help you meet your husband and meet your wife. And the resources I continue to share surely are continually helpful in helping you get to this purpose. However, there are the one-on-one plans that you can have with me that would help you get closer sooner on the journey to meeting your partner. There are dozens of other videos I've continued to record and put out there for you, and packages and plans. Just go to the description under this video to visit links and even free resources that can help you get started in getting clarity on the journey to meeting your husband. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.